Good morning, everybody. It's Miss Winfield here, ready for today's maths. So I hope you've had a beautiful weekend. And here we are again for another week of fabulous remote learning. So let's just do a little rewind to maths last week, okay? What did we explore? Here's a clue. We were exploring numbers, but where did those numbers stop? So we were exploring numbers to 20, okay? Now we're still going to do that, but we're just going to do it in a different way. We're going to sort of learn another skill, okay? So what do you think we might explore this week? I'm going to show you a clue. There's a clue. So I've got the number 15 and I've sort of chopped it up into 1 10 and 5 ones. What do you think we're going to be exploring? Quite a tricky one to guess, actually. Let me show you. So we are going to be partitioning. That just sort of means chopping up numbers to 20, okay? And we're going to put them into two groups of 10s and 1s. So we're going to learn about place value. So the resources that we're going to use to help us, I'm going to show you now, okay? We're going to use our trusted 10 frames and our double-sided counters, okay, because they are super for this. We're also going to use these. Now, these resources are called base 10. My turn, base 10, your turn. Super, and I've got one here, and all this is, if I show it to you, is what you might hear is called a 10 stick. Okay, so it's a little bit like 10 cubes all stuck together. And this represents 10 because if we count, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is our 10 stick. Okay, and we've also got some ones here. So these are called like ones cubes. Okay, you've got the 10 sticks and you've got the ones. Okay, and I've got 10 of those. So if I were to stick those all together, you would end up with something like this. So it's just a way of us representing 10 and some more. But don't worry too much because we're going to explore them lots this week and we're going to look specifically at the base 10 tomorrow. And we're also going to use what we call place value counters. Now, silly Miss Winfield left her place value counters at school, but it's okay because I've made some. So I've got my 10 here, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ones. So this 10 is sort of the same as the 10 stick, and these ones represent the same value as the ones cubes. Okay, they just look a little bit different. So you might be thinking, oh goodness me, I've only seen a 10 frame before, but that's okay because every day this week we are going to explore a different resource, okay, and you're going to be taught how to use them to help you. So please don't worry if you're thinking, oh, I've not seen those. So let's explore then some different ways to represent 10. Now represent just means to show. Okay, so I might show the number 10 using a 10 stick. Okay, I've not written the number 10 as a 1 and a 0. I've not written it as I'm showing 10 to you in this concrete resource, and that means I can touch it, I can pick it up, okay, and this represents 10. So that is the same as here. I can also represent 10 using a 10 frame, and we know that when a 10 frame is full, it's representing 10. And I can also represent 10 using my place value counter. Okay, so there are 3 different ways that we can represent 10. Now, there are so many more different ways in the world. Okay, I'm not saying these are the only 3, but these are the 3 resources that we're going to explore a little more this week. So, similarly, let's explore some different ways to represent 1. How do you think I could represent 1 using my base 10 equipment? What could I do? What would I need to show you? So well done if you said one of those little cubes. Yeah, this is 1, isn't it? Is this 1? No, that's not 1 because that's 2. Is this 1? No, because this represents 10. This is 1 10, but I just want to see 1, 1. There we go, there's a 1. I can also represent the number 1 on a 10 frame. So I could shove all of these out the way. There we go. And I'm representing 1. And I could also represent the number 1 using one of my place value counters. Okay, and I'm making sure I've picked up the right one that represents 1. So today we are going to explore numbers to 20 using 10 frames. Okay, so I'm going to move these out of the way because I don't want us to get confused, and we are going to use 10 frames. Now, if we are representing numbers to 20, I'm going to need 2 10 frames because I know that 10 add 10 more, 10 add 10 is 20. That's why I'm using 2. So let's see what we're going to do today. We are going to partition, remember that just means chop up, numbers to 20 using 10 frames. Okay, and we're practicing some new learning because we've not done partitioning before. Okay, we've sort of done it when we've looked at part whole models, but we've not looked specifically at 10s and 1s. So it's going to be some new learning. And we're doing this so that we can identify, that just means sort of figure out the value represented. So I might show you, let's go back one. Let's look here. I might show you those 2 10 frames and ask what value, what number is that showing? So this pictorial representation, what number is it showing to you? That's what we're going to explore today. So here we go. Let's have a look. So let's do this one together. This is a little bit like our Discover. Okay, I have got 2 10 frames and one of them is full. One of them is full. So how many is this 10 frame representing? The full. It's full. It only holds 10. How many is it representing? What's the, can you identify the value for me? Well done. So this is showing us 10. Okay, because it's full. And this is showing us 10, but how many more have we got? So let's look at this 10 frame now. We've got 10, and how many more? So hopefully you said we've got 1 more, Miss Winfield, because on this 10 frame we've only got 1. So we've got 10, add 1 more. Okay, so how many groups of 10 have I got? I've got 10 and 1 more. Let me put them on here as well. I'm going to fill this one up because it's going to represent 10. There we go. I've got 10 and 1 more. But how many groups of 10 have I got? I have got 1 group of 10. Okay, imagine these are 10 children in my class and I've put them all into a group. They are standing together. They are 1 group of 10. So how many 10s do I have? How many 10s? I have 1 10 and I have 1 1. Okay, this is the new learning. So in this 10 frame, I am representing 10. So I have got 1 group of 10. Here it is. There's my group of 10. And then here I've got 1 1. I've got 1 more. Okay, so here's my 10 in this group, and then I've got 1. So I put them into what we call a place value grid. Okay, so I've got 1 10 and 1 1. So if I put those values together, if I add together 1 10, make sure that's okay because it keeps flashing. If I add together 1 10 and 1 1, so 10 and 1 more, how many do I have all together? So hopefully you said 11 because I've got 10, 11. I don't need to do this. 1 2 3 4 5 6. I don't need to do that because I know that this 10 frame is representing 10 because it's full. Okay, so I've got 1 10 and I've got 1 more. I've got 1 1 and my total is 11. Let's have a go at another one. So exactly the same. How many groups of 10 do I have? How many groups of 10? How many groups? That's the really important bit, okay? Because some of you might be saying, you've got 10. I haven't got 10 groups of 10 because that would mean I've got 100. Okay, so how many groups of 10? This is one group. This is one group. So this is one group. I've got 1, 10. I've got one group of 10. And how many more have I got? How many ones have I got? So this is worth 10. Okay, I've got one group of 10, and how many ones? Some of you might not even need to count them. How many have I got? Can you tell me, Nina? I have got 4 ones. I've got 1 10 and 4 ones. So that must mean if I've got 10 here and I'm adding 4 more, I'm adding 4 ones. How many do I have all together? Let's put that 10 in our heads. Ready? 10, and we're going to add 4 more. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Did anybody else get 14? Super stuff. So I've got 1 10 and 4 1. So what I've just done, okay, you can see that I've broken down this number. I've just chopped it up because look, let me show you. Let me get a different colour. You can see that this number 1 here represents 1 10. And this number 4 represents 4 1s. So I've just chopped the number up into its 10s and its 1s, okay? Let's have a go at another one, because I feel like you're really getting this now. So again, let's look. How many groups of 10 do I have? How many groups of 10? Remember, I don't have 10 groups of 10, else I would have 100 counters. How many groups of 10 have I got? Hopefully you said, Miss Winfield, you have got 1 group of 10. Here's the group, and this group represents 10 because my 10 frame is full. It is 1 group of 10. Okay, how many ones do I have? How many ones? I've got 10 and then I've got some more. But how many more? How many more am I going to add? Let's count them. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7 ones. So I've got 10 and I'm adding 7 more. So if I was to put those numbers side by side like this, how many? Oh, sorry, what number is that? Let's see. Let's put 10 in our heads and let's add 7 more. Here we go. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So if I move this out of the way, you can see that I got 17. Again, let me show you how we have just chopped that up. Move it up there. Oh, excuse me. There we go. I'm going to get my pen. I'm going to use a different colour so we can see. You can see that this number 1, okay, is representing 10. It is worth 1 10. This number isn't worth 1. It's not a 1 and a 7 because else that would be 8. Okay, this number 1 is worth 1 10. It's worth 10. And this number 7 is worth 7 1s. So 1 10 add 7 1s, we've just worked it out, is 17. Right then, here is a bit of a challenge for us because before we didn't have the number, we had the pictorial representation, but now we've been given the number, okay, we've been given the value. So what we are going to do is we're going to chop up, we are going to partition, my turn, partition, your turn. We are going to partition this number, okay? So how many 10s do I have? How many groups of 10? How many groups of 10? Hopefully you said 1. I've got 1 group of 10 because 1 group of 10 equals 10. And how many ones have I got? How many ones? I've got 8 ones. I've got 110, add 8 ones. Okay, so let's put that 110 in our head. Ready? 10. And let's add on those 8 ones, and we should get the number 18. But let's just use our purple prove it glasses to prove it. So I've got 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We were right. So now I need you to represent this on 2 10 frames for me. So you have got, I think you have been given some 10 frames in your home learning pack, but if not, you can simply split your page into 10. I wonder if you can represent the number 18. Okay, I'm just going to let you pause the video, okay, so I can carry on, but I don't want to ruin it for you. So pause me now, and then you will have the time to do that. Let's see if you got it right. So just to make it super easy, I'm going to get a shape. There we go. Right then, how many groups of 10 do I have? One. I have 1 group of 10. Okay, so I've got 1. I'm going to represent 10 using my 10 frame. Okay. Needs a few more. At the moment, I've only got 8 and I want 10. One more. There we go. I've got my 1 group of 10. Okay, here it is. I've got my 1 group of 10. But how many ones do I need to represent? How many ones? So hopefully you are saying, Miss Winfield, you need to represent 8 ones. I'm going to do them in a different colour, just like we would with our counters. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're not very neat, are they? That's going to mess with my brain if they don't look very nice and neat. There we go. I've got 110. Here it is. I'm representing my 110. And I've got 8 ones. Here we go. I'm representing that on the 10 frame. So even though you might have thought, oh, goodness me, this partitioning is going to be so tricky, it's really not. We are simply breaking the number down into 10s and 1s, and we are learning the value of each number, okay, of each numeral. What is its value? So we know that the 1 in the number 18 isn't worth 1, it's worth 10. We've got 1 group of 10, just like here, okay? So the number 18 is made up of 1 10 and 8 ones. Right then, it is going to be your turn now, and I'm going to put this sheet on the Dojo Story, but if you've not got a printer, you can either edit it on your device, or you could draw it in your books, or simply write the answers in your books, okay? So please don't worry about that. And you are being asked, it says, how many mini beasts are in each hotel? Use the 10 frames to help you count the mini beasts and write the total in the box. Now remember, total just means how many all together. So you can be looking, let me zoom in on one of them, because Miss Winfield's blind as a bat. There we go. Let's look at this one. You can be looking and thinking, okay, well, here I can see I've got 1 group of 10. So you could even draw yourself a little place value grid. Excuse my messy handwriting, it's hard to do with a trackpad. Okay, you could have a place value grid. Right, okay, I've got 1 10. Lovely, there it is. And then I've got 2 1s. So 1 10 and 2 1s. 10 add 2. Well, I know that if I put those numbers together, that makes 12. Okay, so rather than you having to do this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, try not to do that for me. Try and look at this and see it as how many 10s, how many 1s. Okay, make sure you submit all of your fantastic learning to Evidence Me so Miss Khan and I and Mr. Rogers can be having a look. Have a wonderful Monday, and I will see you all soon.